This next individual, and we're lucky to have him, is a professor of environmental science and taught at Michigan, Princeton, and Penn. He was also a top regulatory officer at the Occupation Safety Health Administration under Presidents Bush and Clinton. Please welcome Dr. Adam Finkel.
Berkeley, you make me feel so old. I am 62, and until about 2 years ago, I could sing along with that recording. Thanks for coming. I could talk science up here all day, as you know, like how the developer has inferred a magical groundwater barrier without doing any of the tests necessary to show it exists. But instead, I want to talk briefly about costs and benefits, which is what I do for a living and what DES must compare. By law, DES has to consider not only the type, size, and location of the proposed dump, but it must also consider the competence and veracity of the applicant. The clever misstatements Casella has made: only 1% of the site is below the elevation of the lake, so a photo with an arrowhead saying elevation 1083 is misleading. Its failure to mention the massive and unnoticed leachate spill 10 days before they testified before the Senate are red flags, as is the worker fatality they had last month in Vermont and John Gay's incredibly callous remark in its aftermath. But Joe Fusco's remark. But the black flag is John Gay's remark in the wetlands hearing last month that neither groundwater nor surface water contamination, quote, can possibly happen. You won't know it if you watch the video that DES posted and refuses to own up to, but there was 18 seconds of incredulous audience reaction to this howler that is not in the public record. Well, somebody once gave a permit to the person in charge after he said, quote, "I cannot conceive of any vital disaster happening to this vessel. Modern shipbuilding has gone beyond that," end quote. That ship, of course, was the Titanic. Yeah. While it is true that EPA's famous quote, "all landfills will eventually leak," is now 33 years old, and the newest landfills are better designed than they were in 1988, the simple truth is this: we can't possibly know what the average time to failure of a new landfill is because there are no old new landfills. All we have are new landfills that haven't followed the failures of the old ones yet. And if any new landfill is going to fail catastrophically, it is most likely to be the one where the operator made a Titanic prediction that there's no need to be careful because nothing can go wrong. I don't want to talk about climate change in Chris Sununu's state. That was a Freudian slip. But I will just mention, I've done a little bit of math. There are about 30 million unneeded pounds of CO2 every year for siting a landfill 150 miles further away from the sites of generation than it needs to be. Finally, we're tired of being accused of not wanting this menace in our backyard, the very large backyard of the North Country. Casella keeps referring to the closure of the Bethlehem site as if it has a right to always own a North Country landfill, as if it's the most natural thing in the world for NCES to morph into the Granite State landfill and keep its 6 jobs nearby. That's exactly the wrong way to look at the past and future of our region. Precisely because the North Country has served the needs of New England for 40 years and will serve it for at least 20 more through the Carberry landfill, it is time to give the North Country a break. Time to let us recover and let another region step up. We've done enough. Granting this permit 20 years before we need any new landfill, granting it because the North Country has always been good for the rest of New England, and granting it in one of the ecologically worst locations possible, is the poster child for a decision that is unjust and unreasonable, and one that must and will be overturned in court. See you there.
Thank you, Dr. Finkel. Another big round of applause for Adam, please, for all of his work. So next up.